What's up, folks? Welcome to the Panthers Fan Talk post-draft edition. I am Eric, and with me, as always, is Will.
Fresh off of the draft, it just ended, and we've already dropped the video, if you hadn't seen it, on our reaction to Run CMC. Shout out to all the Twitterers that hate that nickname. But
the tweets.
Christian McCaffrey. So check that out if you haven't already. But now we're gonna run through the Panthers draft and kind of quickly go through what we think about each selection and probably give it a grade on the whole.
Yeah.
So, of course, I mentioned we already did the video on Christian McCaffrey because we took him on round 1, pick 8.
Mm-hmm.
There's been mixed reviews throughout the Carolinas and throughout, the Carolina fandom. But I think most people like it. I'm warming up to it more and more, which, like I said, going in, I didn't hate it. You weren't as big a fan, but everybody check that out. You want to spit on that real quick, or you want to go straight into pick 2?
Yeah, the only reason I didn't really like it as much was because O.J. Howard was there. I think that dude's going to be a fantastic tight end, man. I don't know. They're comparing him to Griggles. We could have had like another Griggles, is all I'm saying. But we took Christian McCaffrey. I like the idea of giving Cam help and giving him some more weapons, so I'm warming up to it, man.
So, I started warming up to it. Obviously, you just said you started warming up to it. And then we came back and we took another Christian McCaffrey in the second round.
I actually like this dude better than Christian McCaffrey myself, man. The dude's explosive. He runs like a 4.3. You watch his highlights, man. He's a straight burner, dude. You get him on those freaking out routes and you get him open. You know how Cam loves to throw the deep ball. I mean, that's like a match made in heaven. I think he could be way better than Ted Ginn ever thought about being, and I'm pretty excited about that dude, man.
And by dude, of course, we're talking about Curtis Samuel, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I never said his name, but I thought. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, Ohio State, obviously is going to bring, mentions of Ted Ginn, similarities to Ted Ginn.
Yep. He's
got the straight line speed a la again. But to me, he's got more wiggle than Ginn. Yep. I know some of the knocks, like he doesn't have the fluidity to his run, whatever. But when I watch him run, I guess because he also played halfback, he has the ability to make people miss. Not that Ginn didn't have that ability at all, but I feel like this guy's is better. It is interesting that we took a guy that is able to play the slot, able to line up in the backfield, and do multiple things just after taking a guy that can play the slot and can line up in the backfield and can do multiple things. But it's kind of a way that Gettleman's, obviously he's showing a trend with this. We did it with the back-to-back defensive tackles. We did it with 3 straight corners.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, the guy is an absolute game breaker. The speed is phenomenal. He's played the running back position, so he's used to, bouncing off of tacklers. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see. Surely to God, one of them's going to be a game breaker, right?
Yeah. That I think that's why you take 2. Like you don't know. Maybe one of them's a bust, and maybe the other one's for real. So I'm all for getting Cam some weapons, man. We need some speed on the offense, and Curtis Samuel. That's like that's who you get.
I like the fact that I like the idea of Christian McCaffrey being our punt returner, and I like the idea of Samuel being our kick returner, and that's going to give us 2 explosive players in positions, special teams that we're not used to having. We don't do the whole return game.
Right.
We usually just skip on that. We're just fair catch or take a knee.
Yep.
Moving on to pick 64, we had 4 picks in the top 100.
Yep.
And our third pick was still in round 2. A position that I think we all, going into the draft, knew we needed to address.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a guy that size-wise definitely fits the bill, and that's Taylor Moton's like 6 a lot and 3 a lot.
Yep.
He's like, I forget how tall he was, 6'4", 6'5", I don't know, 6 a lot. Yeah, but he's 315. He's a big man. And I saw that. I was pretty excited. But watching the film, we differed a little bit on it. I seen a guy who, not to bring in the negative PFT that you've all come to love, but I saw a guy who gets his hands out too wide. Reminds me of some of our players of the past, remembers that holds a lot. I'm afraid he's going to have holding issues in the NFL. I mean, it's not something that can't be corrected, obviously, but it's just a bad habit that you go into that's going to need to be corrected. I feel like he didn't have explosion when making impact to when he first sets up his block. And just, I don't know. I've read a lot of good things about him, but from what I saw personally, he has some flaws, which is to be expected for a guy that was picked, last in the second round. Obviously, if he didn't have flaws, he'd have been up there at the top of the first round.
That's true. The highlight I saw, man, he was going against T.J. Watt, J.J.'s brother. From
Good times.
Good times. Nah, Wisconsin, actually. And, dude, he looked good, man. I mean, T.J. Watt never got to the quarterback from the highlights I saw, and his couple times I saw him run block, dude, he was lighting people up, man. I mean, he was like a bulldozer making lanes for the running back. So, I don't know, man. I liked him pretty good. Him and Darrell Williams going at it at right tackle will be definitely interesting. And I think the competition's much needed. So I like that pick.
I don't dislike the pick just because, like I mentioned, we definitely needed somebody at that position.
Right.
We need the competition, like you mentioned. And obviously, you and other people are seeing, different than what I saw. And hopefully you guys are right.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, we need it. We need it bad. And moving on to the third round.
Let's do it.
Pick 77. Deshaun Hall.
Mississippi State. Defensive end.
6'6". I do know how tall he is.
Mm-hmm.
But only 260.
260, yeah.
41-inch vertical leap, though, was a stat that jumped off the page to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that's an athlete, and he's going to be learning how to play at the NFL level under a guy that's an athlete, a guy that he'll be able to relate to on that level, and that's Julius Peppers. And I can't think of a better scenario for a guy that's coming in with that much ability, that much raw talent, than to come in and learn behind Charles Johnson, Julius Peppers. And I see him with his frame. I mean, dude looks thin.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a knock, but for me, that's a positive. Because he could be an impact player at 260. Imagine once he gets into the weight room at the NFL level. And again, with the work ethic that our defense shows as a whole, he's going to bulk up. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him playing around 280, relatively soon.
Right.
And I don't think he's going to lose anything athletically at 280. And, dude, the sky's the limit, in my opinion. Like, this is one of our better draft picks to me. I'm not sure. I don't think we really talked about this one too much off the air, but what do you think about Deshaun?
I like him, man. He seems like he's, he knows how to get to the quarterback for sure. Knows how to make plays. I think he ran like a 4.7, which is pretty fast for a defensive end. And like you said, the 41-inch vertical is just freaking crazy for a dude that's 6'6", 260. And, right away you expect him to gain about at least 20, maybe 30 pounds of muscle, once the regular season starts. So, and like you said too, man, learning from Julius Peppers and Charles Johnson, I mean, that's a heck of a duo to learn from. And I like that pick a lot. We all know we need defensive end because, we've got the old guys there with Charles Johnson and Peppers, so it's a good pick.
The only knock I saw on him, as far as like what I saw personally, not reading on it or anything, but he does, which is hard to say for a guy 6'6", but he could get a little lower on his tackles at times. Maybe be able to deliver more of a crushing blow if he is able to lower a little more.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think Julius Peppers has gotten low in his career to make a hit, and he does just fine, especially throughout his career when he was here in Carolina, forcing fumbles and whatnot. So not a necessity, just something I saw maybe he could work on.
Yeah.
But I like the pick a lot, as I said. And I mentioned that's one of my favorite picks. My favorite pick is the guy we picked in the 5th round. And to me, he's just the prototype nickel corner. And like I mentioned with Hall coming in the perfect situation, I think the Corn Elder has... I think he couldn't have been picked by a better team. When you come to Carolina as a small guy with a chip on your shoulder, I mean, you come in behind Sam Mills, Steve Smith, even the Ricky Manning Jr.'s of the world.
Yep.
Captain Mutterland. I mean, our history is just littered with guys that were undersized, but, brought it play in and play out. And when I watch this guy on tape, I'm excited to see him play, and especially because we've got Bradbury on the outside. We've got Worley, who I have hopes for because of the way he finished the season.
Yeah.
And so he's going to have the chance again to learn behind one of the best in the league, Captain Mutterland. And when it comes to his time to play, I think he's going to be prepared. And the dude can tackle. He goes after it.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about not getting low for Hall. I mean, of course, this guy's 5'10", so it's easier for him to get low. But he gets low and he brings it. And in pass coverage, he uses every bit of length that he has. I mean, at only 5'10", but he stretches out for everything, and he's got great timing. And he does the one thing that a lot of corners don't do when they fail in this league or they're not as good, and that's he's able to keep his eye in the backfield and on the receiver. And that sounds easy, but you see a lot of guys running down the field with their hands up, trying to watch the receiver, which is how you're taught to do, but that's how you're taught to do if you don't have natural instincts and ability.
Right.
So I love that pick.
Yeah, man, I like it a lot too. Like you said, he's a heck of a tackler on highlights, man, and his coverage is real good. He seems to always get there to get the Platts deflection. I think he run like a 4.40. Dude's coming out of Miami, so he played in the ACC, so he played against good competition in college. So, yeah, I saw that. It's a good one. Corn Elder. Let's shook him.
Yeah, how did he not end up in Nebraska?
Shook him.
But
I like the pick, man. He's a good. That's a real good pick. You mentioned Captain Mutterland. I think he's Captain Mutterland 2.0 for sure. And I mean, that's a good one to have.
Another positive for him, to me, is the fact that in zone coverage, he really stood out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're going to a lot more man, and I don't think he's going to be deficient in man. But I think when we go to zone, and especially playing on the inside, even if we go to man on the outside, he's still going to get a lot of zone looks. Like, he's really good. He's really good at falling out of his position, covering deep behind him. He, like you mentioned, he had 4.4 speed, and he looked even faster than that watching him play. So he was able to get from down on the line in zone, like close to the line of scrimmage, back, mid-level to make deflections.
Mm-hmm.
And add a guy like that, I love it. I love the pick.
Yeah.
Much less popular pick came in the 6th round. Alex Arma, defensive end, tight end,
/
and we drafted him to be our fullback.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely goofy. I'm okay with it though. He played fullback in high school. But honestly, I'm good with it. Carolina brought him in, their workouts, and only checked him out as a fullback.
Right.
They didn't care about any of his other abilities. And he passed the grade. And obviously, Tolbert was good for us. We had Hoover here, in the past.
Yep.
So Carolina fans, we should be pretty excited about bringing in another fullback. We've got a good history with that as well.
That's true. I heard, this is a pick where they trust their scouts. And so, I mean, it's not bad. 6th round, you got a dude sitting there that you've already worked out and you already know a little bit. It's not a bad pick, I think, when you do all that. So
I like the fact that you point out. I mean, 6th round.
Yeah.
What are you getting in the 6th round? I mean, unless you get Tom Brady, but
typically
speaking, it's the 6th round. I mean, there's going to be how many players come out of the 6th this year that actually make it?
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's some gems sitting there though at 6. Didn't we get like Greg Hardy there at 6, or was he?
He was 5th.
Oh, close enough.
So yeah, I mean, there's going to be some gems there, but I mean, at the end of the day, you take a guy, it's a chance. It's not like it's a sure call that deep.
Right.
7th round though, we went sure call. 7th round, we went with the kicking butter. Not sure how his last name is pronounced, but we brought in a kicker. So, what's that tell you about Gano and our future at that position? And if you know anything about old Harrison, then feel free to throw that in there too, because I didn't really watch a lot of Harrison film leading into the draft.
The only thing I read about him was that he made a 52-yard field goal, and
yeah, it's a good start.
I don't know. I think that's like his longest of his career, but yeah, I mean, obviously Gano. I don't know. He's more like 50-50 when he gets on the field. I mean, there's a 50% chance he's going to make or miss, and especially in big games, you just don't have that much confidence in him. When the game's close and you definitely need this kick. Like, you don't have much confidence in all Gano. So I like this pick as far as bringing in competition. Hopefully we can maybe bring in somebody else who's maybe more of a veteran. But it's not a bad pick for 7th, man. I mean, if you're going to take a kicker, it better be, 7th pick. So
yeah,
7th round pick.
I like the fact that we brought in a kicker, because I love Graham Gano, first of all. Like, dude seems super cool.
As far as a person.
And he's got a huge leg.
Yeah.
Back before they changed the rule to bring it out to the 25, he was even more valuable. He lost a little bit of value with that, because touchbacks now don't mean as much as they did. And I mean, dude can step back. If it's first quarter and he lines up for a 59-yarder, I think we got a chance of making it.
Right.
There's not a lot of guys you can say that about. But, like you said, at the end of the game, if he lines up for a 35-yarder, I'm sitting, trying to peek through the eyes, through the fingers. Like, it's just scary, and you shouldn't have to have that fear. And I mean, I'm sure it's not just us as fans, but I assume that Richardson, Gettleman, the rest of the organization, when he lines up, the game's on the line, they're not as confident as they should be, and that's why you bring in a guy in the draft, a young guy. I'm sure, like you mentioned, they'll probably bring in a veteran at some point just to check it out. And neither one of these means that we're not going to have Gano.
Right. But
it does bring in the competition. It means that he's going to have to step up his game.
Right.
And honestly, I mean, if we could get a rookie that's good enough to play in the NFL and is only going to get better, I mean, that sounds great.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like I said, I mean, 7th round's where you want to take a kicker if you're going to get one. So we'll see how he pans out. Hopefully he comes in and kills it, and he's our, kicker for the next 10 to 15 years, and just freaking is one of the best in the league. So that's what we hope.
And again, Gano, I mean, he's not going to be a bad guy to pick up some tips from.
That's true.
So overall, for me personally, I like the draft. Looking at it pick by pick, at times I was like, oh, I kind of grimace. But then I look at each player and what they can bring and what our needs are, how good they appear to be. And I think it's a pretty solid draft. I don't know, how you feel on it, but of course, again, our McCaffrey video showed our initial reactions. Right. But I think we landed a good one in round 2, a very good one. I think we destroyed it in 3 and 5, like just knocked it out of the box.
3, 4, and 5, yeah.
And 4, our third pick, round 2, I'm a fan of the pick. But yeah, I think our third round and fifth round picks. I think we home runs. So overall, man, I'm gonna say an A-. That's my grade for the Panthers draft. That's probably some homerish in there, but maybe because I watch them and I just have dreams of Cam throwing touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, and our young defensive end and corner running behind two veteran greats, and I don't know, man. I'm super optimistic.
I've got to say, man, getting Christian McCaffrey and Curtis Samuel, that's going to be fun to watch. Now, you got two speed dudes who can just, make stuff happen, especially if we start, going for the little screen passes and evolving the offense like they've been talking about. Only thing I wish they'd have done is maybe drafted a younger safety, like a good safety. Mike Adams is like 35, so I mean, I know he was good for like a couple years back, but once you get older, you start losing that speed, and God knows we need help over the top. So I wish we'd have took a safety somewhere in there. But overall, even after passing on my boy O.J. Howard, that freaking killed me.
Malik Hooker.
And Malik Hooker. I think I got to give it a B, man, like a solid B. Like it was a good draft overall, I think. So I'm excited to see these dudes come out and play, especially like I said, the offensive weapons and Deshaun Hall. I'm looking forward to seeing him, and Corn Elder. Looking forward to watching that dude play. So, and hopefully we find our field goal kicker for the next.
He ain't the children of the corn. He's the elder of the corn.
No, that's a man right there, man. I'm looking forward to watching him dominate. So, not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, that's it. Right here, post-draft Panther fan talk. Guess we'll be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
And check us out.
I'm at Eric 6'5" with the numbers, and we're at Panther Fan Talk on Twitter
without the numbers.
Without the numbers.
And as always,
keep
pounding.